Hi, my name is Daisy Munoz, and today I want to talk about making school lunches free again. My specific purpose is to persuade my classmates that the National School Lunch Program policy is flawed and problematic. Still to this day, school's lunch is being determined based on your parents' income, and based on their income, that results in whether students will be receiving lunch for free or they needing to pay. So I can recall many times when my friends didn't eat lunch because they didn't have the money to buy the lunch because the government decided that their parents' income was able to send their kid to school with lunch money. The thing about this is so tricky is that the government doesn't really know a person's life story or actual financial history. On paper, it may seem like, yes, they're able to provide lunch money for their kids so they can have lunch at school. But in reality, they're probably struggling to make ends meet. And school lunches, at least back then, if I can recall correctly, maybe reduced lunch was $2. So if you're trying to provide your kid, $2 doesn't seem like a lot for a day. Gotta keep in fact that your kid goes to school 5 days out of the week. So that's already 2 times 5, which is $10. Not including the fact if some kids are there from the morning, maybe like at 6 a.m. before the schools are even like fully into effect or open for like the students to come in. So if someone is there from 6 in the morning till let's say 4, depending on when the parent is able to pick them up after school, that's about like 10 to 12 hours that they're at school with no food. And if the government decides that they're able to provide school lunch money because on their tax income it looks like they have enough money, if they want to provide their kid with a breakfast meal and their lunch meal, let's just say breakfast is $2 too. That's what, $4 a day? That's already $20 that they're losing so that their kid can eat at school. And that's not including anything else if there's other kids. Some families have 3 to 4 kids, which now that's 4 kids times 20, that's already $60 that they're losing in 1 week. Now, if we multiply that in a month, $240 that they're losing per month. Maybe more or less around there, right? $240 is a lot and can be really life-changing money for some families. And not all families can afford to send all their kids with school lunch money, unfortunately. So it is very important that we have free school lunches for everybody so that every student is eating and is being prepped for success at school. Now, after the pandemic, it hit a lot of families hard too. There's a quote from, I want to say the General Consensus, that it says, after the pandemic, 19.5% of families in Massachusetts struggled with food insecurity, resulting in many students not being able to afford school lunches. Let's round that up to 20%. That's 20% of children that are going to school 5 days out of the week and not eating school lunch until they probably get home at like 4. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot last till 4 p.m. to eat. I will be hangry. I will be in a worse mood. You do not want to be near me when I don't have food, either in the morning or during my lunch. And these are some of the ways kids are having to go through the day at school. Being hangry, being emotionally unavailable, not wanting to deal with anything, just shutting them down, not being able to focus because they're hungry. That is not the type of students we want to send to school. We want to send students who are ready to learn, who are ready to be engaged, who know that they will have every opportunity available to them to make sure that they are succeeding. If students do not receive food because of financial issues, they struggle to pay attention in class, which can damage their grades. There's another quote from the same publication, the General Census, where it says that teachers have noticed that 80% of students that were hungry couldn't concentrate in class. And I have a little demographic label. So it's this one. Let me read it to you guys. So it's the 19.5% of the students that suffer from food insecurity that I just went over. 76% effects of not having enough food from students. Teachers have noted that 76% of students had a negative impact on their learning where they weren't able to be fully nourished, which means they're not paying attention, they're acting out. they're in a bad mood, they're talking back. Making sure that you eat is essential and should be free for everybody in school, for all the students there that are ready to learn and ready to really take in what the lessons are going to be throughout the day. So those are some of the issues with not having free lunch for every school. Students don't pay attention, they're in a bad mood, they can't concentrate, they're acting out. They're just not there to learn, which is really important in today's society, that students go to class prepared and ready to learn. So now that I have discussed the problems with the current policy, next I will talk about how to solve this issue. Plain and simple, I'm proposing that the school provide free lunches for everyone, all the students K through 12, because it shouldn't just be for the lower students, or for the younger students, not K to 6. It should be for K to 12, because these issues, parents don't struggle, they don't stop struggling after their kid enters middle school or high school. They continue to struggle. This policy should be adopted because it ensures that all students receive a full meal and that students do not go home hungry. The school should not be sending a child home hungry. That is insanity to me, that a school can allow that to happen. In the National Center on Education and Economy, it shows, there's a little picture saying all the benefits for providing free lunch. I'm going to read some to you. It ensures that students are adequately fed and ready to learn, provide equal access to food for all students, because again, if you're in a cafeteria full of students and there's a couple kids that aren't eating, you are pinpointing the students that are struggling financially, and that is not okay. It also, another benefit is it teaches students about nutrition, promotes social and emotional growth, and it helps establish community in the classroom. Now, this is a map picture of some states that have free or reduced pricing for lunch options. I should see all the states filled up. These gray states are atrocious and really heartbreaking. Now, my policy to making schools provide free lunches will make the world a better place, because it will feed the children of America and ensure that they are not going home hungry, and that it also relieves the stress off parents who are worrying if their kids are even eating at school. So why wouldn't we want to take that weight off of parents? Parents already have enough to deal with. So in conclusion, students are still being required to pay for their school lunch based on their parents' income, which shouldn't be into effect. A school should provide free lunch just as it provides education for everybody, and ensuring that everyone gets an equal chance at being successful. Free lunches will ensure that every child has a fair chance at becoming successful in this world, because like every politician says, our children are our country's future. I hear that every time there's a debate going on. It's our children are next for the future. We're setting this up for our children. So why wouldn't we want to equip them with all the tools of success? Being as plain and simple as that, why are we not providing free school lunches for our students to ensure that they are successfully prepared for class, and making sure that they're mentally ready for the day and physically ready for the day, making sure that they're not hungry, they're not angry, they're able to focus and concentrate? Why wouldn't we want to set them up for success? It starts with free lunch, one sandwich, one kid at a time. Thank you.